A child is born in North Korea, but the moment that innocent child is born, they are declared a traitor. North Korea is known for having some of the strictest laws in the world, and among them are a few that are almost impossible to believe. Elections are held here, but there is no option when it comes to voting. You can only vote for one person, and if you don't, you go straight to jail. There is only one TV channel here, and there is no option to tune to another. North Korea is perhaps the only country in the world where you can be sent to jail, not just for committing a crime, but for even thinking about one. Until 1945, Japan ruled over all of Korea for 35 years. But after World War II, Korea was divided into two parts, North Korea and South Korea. North Korea was under the influence of the Soviet Union, while the South was under American influence. In 1948, Kim Il-sung of the Kim dynasty was made the leader, and North Korea was named the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. But democracy never truly came into existence here. In 1950, a war broke out between North and South Korea, known as the Korean War. But after the war ended, no peace treaty was signed. For this reason, both countries are technically still in a state of war. In North Korea, only one family has ever ruled to maintain power. First Kim Il-sung, then Kim Jong-il, and now Kim Il-sung's grandson, Kim Jong-un. Every ruler has relied on increasingly strict laws to protect their position. Many rules have been created here to suppress people through fear and punishment, so that they don't become influenced by South Korea or Western culture and turn against the regime. Today we will talk about some of these strange and bizarre rules. So let's begin. In 2024, North Korea banned the use of sunglasses in wedding dresses. In metro stations and public places, instead of music, speeches by the Kim family are played. And during this time, no one is allowed to talk to each other or make noise. If people in North Korea are caught watching South Korean dramas or Hollywood films, they face labor camps or harsh punishment. These measures are taken to prevent ideological contamination so that foreign influences do not reach the public. Ordinary people in North Korea are not allowed to use the internet, only an intranet. This is a completely closed network that only operates within North Korea. Even this network is monitored by the state, which watches what people are viewing, reading, and saying. In this way, the government controls the information that reaches people so they are not influenced by the outside world. Making international phone calls without state permission is also illegal in North Korea. If you want to speak to someone outside the country, you must get permission from the government first. TV, radio, and newspapers can only be run by the state. Private media is simply unimaginable. This media only contains praise for the government, glorification of the Kim dynasty, and mentions of foreign enemies such as the United States. From childhood, ordinary people are filled with hatred toward America and its allies. The North Korean government also keeps strict control over people's hairstyles. The government has permitted only certain specific hairstyles, meaning people are told which hairstyles they are allowed to have. Everything that carries any influence from the outside world is banned. Wearing jeans, dyeing hair, or wearing bright clothing. Those who do so have their belongings confiscated and face punishment. Not just clothing. Even eating certain foods of your choice is not allowed. Hot dogs are banned because of their association with American culture, and budae-jjigae and tteokbokki are banned for being South Korean dishes. A permit is also required to travel from one city to another. Without one, travel is considered illegal. North Korean passports are only issued to the elite class, such as government officials and close associates of Kim Jong-un. Ordinary citizens cannot even dream of leaving North Korea. In North Korea, whether it is land, a house, a shop, or a business, everything is owned by the state. No individual can become the owner of anything. They can only use these things, and only with the state's permission. Following or practicing any religion is also illegal here. People cannot follow any religion of their own choosing. Although there are churches in North Korea, they exist only to show the outside world that religious freedom exists here. In reality, those who use them are sent to labor camps. If anyone in North Korea tries to go against the government or raises their voice against the Kim dynasty, not just that person, but their entire family is imprisoned. And this punishment can be extended to 3 generations. That means if one person turned out to be a traitor, and years later their grandchild is born, that innocent child will also be labeled a traitor. This is done so that the spirit of rebellion can never rise against the Kim family in future generations. In every neighborhood, around apartments and homes, there are government spies who secretly keep watch over everyone. The strangest thing is that in this country, you don't just face jail for committing a crime. If you have even thought about committing one and someone reports you, It would be like striking an axe at your own feet. In North Korea, from birth to death, self-criticism sessions are held every week. In these sessions, people confess their mistakes in front of a full class, such as, "I hid someone's weakness from the government," or "I did not praise Kim Jong-un enough," or "I was impressed by something foreign." Then people apologize for their mistakes, and the others sitting in the class criticize them. Every citizen in North Korea is required to vote. But the surprising thing is that votes can only be cast for whomever the government chooses. There is no real election where the public votes to choose their leader. Instead, only one representative is on the ballot, and anyone who does not come to vote is considered a traitor. So why hold voting at all if the government only puts up its own people? In reality, elections here are not for choosing a leader. They are a loyalty test. When 100% of people vote for the same candidate, the government considers it a demonstration of its own strength and public unity. There is also a national assembly here called the Supreme People's Assembly. But its job is not to make decisions. It is simply to rubber stamp Kim Jong-un's decisions. All citizens of North Korea are required to memorize the government's 10-point ideological principles by heart. If someone stumbles while reciting them, they will be called a traitor. Not a single one of these 10 points fails to mention Kim Il-sung's name. In North Korea, every TV set is fixed to only government channels, such as Korean Central Television. This means people cannot change channels of their own choice, and tuning to other channels is illegal. In imported TV sets, NTSC tuners are disabled in advance. In North Korea, bicycles also require registration and a number plate. To ride a bicycle, you must pass a road safety test and obtain a license as well. Foreign logos, slogans, or flags on clothing are absolutely not allowed in North Korea. The government views these things as cultural influence from the outside world and wants people to adopt only the North Korean identity. Not just nationals, if any tourist visits, strict laws apply to them as well. A tourist must be accompanied by a guide at all times and can only visit locations designated by the North Korean government. They cannot try to talk to locals, nor can they take photographs openly. And if a tourist wants to interview a citizen, they cannot do so without the permission of the tour guide. Owning mobile phones and computers is allowed in North Korea. However, everything from USB drives to phone memory is regularly checked. If any content from the outside world is found, punishment can follow. North Korea has an extremely inhumane class system for its citizens called Songbun. This system means that when a child is born, their entire life is already decided, and the foundation of this system is the child's family history. There are 3 classes: core, wavering, and hostile. The first category, called core, includes people whose ancestors participated in Kim Il-sung's revolution or who were soldiers in the Korean War. They are considered the most loyal to the government. They are given the best jobs, such as high-ranking positions in the government or military, and are permitted to live in the capital city, Pyongyang. Only this class is allowed to own cars. The second class is wavering. These are ordinary North Korean citizens whose ancestors were common laborers or farmers, or whose past was neither notably good nor bad in the government's view. They are permitted middle-class facilities in North Korea. The third category is hostile, also called Joktae or Giching. This includes people whose ancestors at some point followed a religion or who had any connection with someone in South Korea. The North Korean government considers them traitors and gives them the lowest social status. They are assigned the worst jobs, such as working in mines, manual labor, or cleaning. Moving on, electricity, water, and gas are all rationed, and their consumption is strictly monitored. From the age of 17, every citizen, male or female, is required to serve in the military for up to 10 years. Crying is compulsory upon the death of any member of the Kim family or on the death anniversaries of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. If someone does not do so, their loyalty is viewed with suspicion. Every household is required to display portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, and cleaning them regularly is also an obligation. For ideological loyalty, school children are made to memorize the speeches of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il by rote. North Korea is so isolated from the rest of the world that they even have their own calendar, called the Juche calendar. The Juche calendar began in 1912, the birth year of Supreme Leader Kim Il-sung. That means the year 1912 is considered Juche Year 1 in North Korea, and in 2026, the year there is 114. Several reasons come up for North Korea's isolation from the world. One is that the Kim regime fears that if people learn about the outside world, they will turn against the government. This is why media, travel, and the internet are all banned. Secondly, international sanctions imposed on North Korea because of its nuclear program have further cut the country off from the world. It should be noted here that many of these rules may have already been abolished, or even more dangerous rules may have been introduced since. No one has updated information on this. All of this information was leaked by people who managed to flee North Korea after 1953. Various areas are monitored with the help of spy satellites. Some North Koreans have also smuggled footage out through China via USB drives. We hope you will like and share. Thank you so much for watching.